Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. All bingo-y tiles, but 2 vowel heavy and duplicates. So, pretty tricky actually. I think it's fine to change, but the trickiness comes in what to change, and it's really tempting to keep a vowel heavy rack just because these are the 5 tiles which appear in the best 6 and 7 letter or best 6 letter stems. However, I am going to jettison the I. I don't want to draw 2 vowels, and even 1 vowel could be too much. Now I have retiary, so that has paid off. I do have a bingo. If opponent changes, I can stick the Y on the double letter square. And sometimes when you open with a change, your opponent is more inclined to follow, and partly that's fear of putting floaters down such that the person who's changed has a bingo, because he will know that I've changed 3 and therefore kept 4 good tiles. Great, retiary does play in column 7. Do I have anything better? Do I have a double through the G? No. What about the H? Well, I'm not sure anything is going to outscore retiary. If it does, it'll be marginally, only marginally so. So retiary for 72. U does take a K in front, so that's a hot spot. And I draw the K. Fantastic. And I could play Whacker in column 6 for a big score. I am looking to get rid of the K with the W. And retiary must attract opponent's attention to the triple word square at A8. So this is shaping up to be a half decent start to the game. Well, opponent annoyingly has taken out my whacker spot, but I can still play core. And that does take an A, and Kawa takes an S and a U. So I am going with this. Well, not great, but not terrible either. I do have unbox on my rack. Nowhere to play that. But if I could simply play XU, then the rack leave of Born isn't terrible. And I can play XU in column 7 next to the A of Kawa. Ah, well, because of Kawa, I do have unbox in row N, and that remains available. Let me see what this scores. 46 points, that's a good score. Opponents banged in a 40-point score. Unbox slightly dangerous in this spot in that it clearly does provide scoring opportunities for opponent. 46 points. If I played Zoo and Axe, 34. So I'm getting 12 more points. Is this spot worth 12 points to opponent? Possibly. Possibly. So, what about playing the X elsewhere? I haven't really explored what opponents made available, and of course my X can go next to this E, but with 2 U's, I'm certainly looking to play off at least 1. I am going with unbox. Wow, what a pickup. Absolutely fantastic. I have viruses as a 7. Are there any 7-letter lanes? Not sure there is. But there could be if opponent plays underneath row O. So what else do I have? And I'm looking at the floaters in Ween. There is surely some playable bingos here. I sort of have the makings of survives, but I would need a V or an E, neither of which is currently available. So W doesn't look promising with U and V. What about the H? watch. No, I would have voussoir through an O. How about the E? No, so U and V together, not great. Wow, I thought I had universes. Now, does reft take an S? It does not. So opponent does not provide a viruses spot. That's a shame. What he has done is left a lone row. Oh. So, do I have a play beginning SU? So, I do need to look for sevens here. I was not expecting row O to remain available. So I've not seen anything so far. That's viruses. Does it have an anagram? I don't think so. I'm mindful of the fact that right now I have no playable bingos, so I'm not just looking for a better bingo. I am looking for a bingo. So I would have unvisors through an O. Gosh, an O would be quite useful with this rack. So that would be voussoir through an O. So I would have reviewists through an E. So nothing. The other options are RE and EN. So how about RE? Gosh, close to Rio viruses. That feels there could be one there. What about EN? That could be a double-double also. Do I have souvenirs? Let's find out. Yes, I do. Fantastic. Souvenirs for 94. Bang! And that's not a bad pickup. And I have a decent lead. But row O still available. Who would have thought that that spot would remain available for this length of time? And it remains available. So, opponent scoring well with 49 points. He got only 11 for reft, so maybe he was hanging on to 5 really good tiles and then drew the Z. Now, what do I have with this rack? I've drawn the second V. I'm not feeling that there are bingos with this rack, 8 or 7s. But let me consider the available floaters. 14 minutes on my clock. Well, W, not good for a bingo. I have Havia, but it doesn't get doubled. Nothing with the E. S. No. There is now a floating O, but that doesn't avail this rack. And nothing. So, Vor is good. So I could play Void for a decent score, keeping duplicate A. But how about row O? Surely I have something in this spot. So I haven't seen anything yet, but the I would need to go there. And I don't have to play the V off, so I'm really looking for anything. Cowor only takes an S. So OD or AD. Or 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 AR. So Aroid and Radio don't play. So I think the best I can do is Aria. 35 points, that's not bad, and I'm taking out pretty hot spot. And I'm not going to get duplicate V. There are still a ton of vowels to come. 12 minutes on my clock. I like this, but can I do something better? I can play arid for 38, and these vowels actually help the V, so I think this is a better play, taken in conjunction with the increased score. Any improvements on this? No, I don't think so. And arid doesn't take an S, so this is much better than aria. And I'm not swamped with vowels. This is a balanced rack. I've got the over prefix with AUN, so I don't think I have an over bingo. No, so I'm really looking to play off the V, and this VOR spot remains available. Fantastic. Can I play the U off as well? Not that I can immediately see. That's a shame. But I've got VOAR for over 30 points. I lead by 150, so I am in good shape. Now I have ravenous onto an S, but these S's in the wrong position. That's a shame. Let me consider the floaters. W, again, with U and V, very unpromising. How about the H? No, not seeing anything there. Nothing with the E. I have Avour on my rack as a 6-letter play. Still one blank to come. So I could play Avour above the T of Reft for 32 points, helping to expedite the end of the game, but providing 4 useful floaters. Wow, great bingo by opponent, 72 points, and now I only lead by 1 bingo, and the remaining tiles look pretty bingo-y. This game is not over. And opponent takes out the floaters in the left-hand side of souvenirs, so I'm not minded to play Avour. I am thinking about playing VOR. No U's to come, so I'm not going to get this duplicated, and the N helps the U. Can I do any better than this? Well, I do have Avour in column 3, but there's no longer a blank to fish for. So I think I'd rather take out... Well, I was going to say take out this AW hook, but of course Avour would achieve that. 23 points. Well, this is 11 more points, so I am going with this. I have Apolloon. Is there anywhere for that? I'm not sure there are any 7-letter lanes on the board at the moment. So I have Yoop Neil beginning with the E of Ween, which I think is good. That is going to open up a triple in column 15. Not ideal, but I'm not going to turn down Yoop Neil. Now there is a 7-letter lane in row F, but Apolloon doesn't fit. How about an 8? Well, W and U don't go well together, although I'm close to unweapon. How about the H? No. I'm not 100% sure on Yoop Neil. I shall certainly be trying it though. How about this S? I think it's just Apolloons. Opponent surely must be tempted by this triple word square bottom left, but he's not going to score hugely with that. Only the J of the high scoring tiles available. So supposing Yoop Neil isn't good, what do I do? Or supposing it's blocked? I have the up and un prefix. Ah, well, that's good. I have a better spot for Yoop Neil, which doesn't open up a triple triple. Not seeing anything with the I, and in any event that wouldn't get doubled. So Yoop Neil for 78. Not good. Have I spelt it correctly? Yes. Ah, okay. Now, hoodie takes an R and an S. Nowhere for Apolloon. Anything with the I? No. So, what to do here? Tricky situation. Still 28 tiles to come, which is a lot, and my lead only 90 points. I'm thinking about playing a 6-letter play, but that wrecks the rack. I've got the P for score. I could play pull. I think I'd like to play Alp somewhere. A far cry from the bingo I had my eye on. Only 14 points. I have a bingo. I have Poulan. Wow, I nearly missed that. It's a 5-vowel 8. Poulan for 61. Bang! Fantastic. I so nearly missed that. Good grief. Okay, well, surely that has secured the win. Still 20 tiles to come, but I have a 150-point lead. And for any of you who spotted Poulan who are watching this, you must have been shouting at the screens. Now, my rack has massively deteriorated. I was so close to missing that. Wow, that would have been painful. So, dreadful rack, hopelessly unbalanced with only one vowel. 4 high-scoring tiles. However, surely there's something half decent here. I have chimp in row B. That's not bad. I don't have an R for hoodie. We're going on the end of hoodie. There is still one R to come. Just looking around for other I's, I played Poulan extremely quickly once I spotted that. Sometimes you can do that and then find the same floater existed elsewhere for more points. Now 27 for opponent, and he turns over 4 tiles. He provides some floating vowels. Do they assist? I don't think so. Chimp is not a massive score. I do have Sklim. Not a fan of that. But chimp is going to leave a decent rack leave. I'm thinking about playing clip. 14 points. Pretty much strangling the openings which opponent has created. The remaining tiles are bingo-y. This forces bingos into using the floaters in Ween, and W and H not massively useful. Not a great score. But what does chimp score? 20.6 more points. I'm thinking of playing chimp. If opponent bingos, then I may well have a decent score in row A, unless of course he bingos starting at the top of column 15. I don't think it matters. I think this game is won. And I think this rack leave is better than the rack leave after clip. I am going with this. Wow, pretty good pickup. I have a ton of bingos here, but do any of them play? I don't think they do as sevens. So I'm looking at the I and the E. Not seeing anything with the I. How about the E? Nope, I would have Sally Sita onto an A. Maybe opponent will open new bingo lanes and provide a new floater. One can but hope. So any 7-letter lanes? No. There could be a bingo with the I and the E, I just haven't spotted it. And the remaining tiles looking slightly less bingo-y now. I think the F and J are being factored into that. And of course I have 7 really bingo-y tiles on my rack. So do I really not have a bingo through this I? Well, no, not that I can see. Certainly not one ending IEST. Let me consider the 7s in case they prompt any hooks. So I have elastic, which takes a G in front and an S after. I have astellic, which takes nothing. So astellic, elastic, laciest, lattices, and Sally set, which takes an A and an S. And that's it. Scaliest onto an S. But the whole of the left-hand side of the board not available for bingos. So opponent down to 10 minutes, 13 tiles in the bag. And Moby has taken out the 7-letter lane available for hooking hoodie. I will be disappointed if I've missed a bingo through E or I. They're both very high probability 8-letter sets. So supposing I don't have a bingo, do I have a row A play? Because that was the plan in playing chimp. Well, no, I have no vowel which goes in front of P. That would just be an O or a U. Ah, look at this. Opponent has provided another floating E, which doesn't work for me. And gelastic, the G is in the wrong spot. How frustrating. So, 6 minutes on my clock. How long do I spend looking for a bingo with this E? Let me consider each tile as an opening tile in a bingo. So I'm considering this rack plus an E, not seeing anything with an A, or a C, or an E, I, L, no, S, no, and not with the T. So I am not seeing a bingo. 9 tiles to come. This is a really sad point because I'm having to trash a bingo-y rack. So I can play cased for 37 or cast for 37. Castle for 39. Decent score, obstructing the E and I of Moby. And playing off 6 tiles, helping to expedite the end of the game. There'll be only 3 tiles in the bag. So I'm not saying a bingo with this rack. F and G don't go well together, and F in any event is non-bingo-y. I do have an O for going in front of P. Opponents played in that spot. Now, do I really not have a bingo? I need to consider the available floaters. There are a few. How about the G? No. How about the E? And there are a couple of them. No. So, no tiles in the bag. I can see what opponents got. AIJNT. Any massive J spots for opponent? No, I think the best he can do is probably jet. 30 points, that's not very many. So do I have a play down here which ends in F? Only of, but that's 30 points. Can I go out with this rack? So I'm not sure I can. So what I could do, well, I was going to say play EF, but LE isn't good. I think this only works if I have got an out close to girdle. 3 minutes on my clock, that's not very much. So anything onto this E or through this E? Don't think so. No, do I have any other options down the bottom of the board? Ah, I do, I have if. Maybe that's what I was thinking of earlier. So do I now have an out with this rack? Not seeing anything with the E, which is the most promising. I have gloire. It's only one out, so opponent could block it. And he may do that with gin. But I'm still going with this. It stops opponent playing J in the obvious spot, so he'll score less at the top. And it's possible I have a second out, which may come to mind. Well, I have Ogler, but does that... Yes, well, that does play. Ogler and Oz. Wow, opponent goes out. Amazing. Okay, well, I didn't spot that. It doesn't affect the end of the game. Gosh. Okay, and he could have gone out in column 15 as well, so... He was unstoppable. And the final score, 346 for my opponent, 477 for me, a winning margin of 131 points, so a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. What a game. Huge score. Great fun. So, it was me to go first. I changed, and this is definitely not as good as changing. None of those are. Opponent's rack plays Chug, and that's great because I have Retiary, but tertiary playable. Wow, of course. Beginning with the T of Tuke, and that's not a million miles away from Retiary, same ending, and would have scored 14 more points. Opponent's rack got the blank, but hampered with the F and Q. Plays Cat, and I have Cower for 41. Opponent's rack plays Ween, which was a nice spot, and now I have Unbox for 46. And I've had a great start and established an 80-point lead. Opponent's rack plays Ref, so just coming back to this, he plays Reft, keeping DLST blank, okay, slightly vulnerable to drawing consonants. My rack, and I have Souvenirs for 94, but Reviewists, which I spotted, wow, playable through the T of Retiary. I did not consider that as a floater. And Surviews, A2 through the W. There was a WUV bingo. Wow. Well, I'm grateful for spotting one of those. Opponent's rack plays Tsar. And so I play Arid for 38, keeping Avo. L4, Void for 38. I prefer my play. I think this is a super hot spot and Arid kills it. And opponent now bingos. Great spot with dicotals. And this is my rack, and Havia are playable for 42 points, getting rid of the V and the U. That would have been better than my play. Opponent with a lot of vowels plays hoodie. And here we are. I have Poulan, and it took me an eternity to spot that, but I got there in the end, and that pretty much secured the win. Opponent's rack plays Moby. And I played Chimp for 20, but M2. Scoper and Zap available for 32 points, but burning the S, so probably not terribly much between those plays. Opponent plays Genre. Now, this was the most bingo-y rack I had. And there's a bingo! Ciliates through the eye. Wow! And hoodies. What a miss. Very high probability. Okay, total humiliation for me at the end there. Wow. Okay, so I play Castle for 39. Opponent plays Odeon. And I play If for 32. However, well, yeah, I think any better plays would only have been slightly better. And opponent has a great out of Tahine. So, what a game. Nearly 500 points and over 100 points margin of victory. And a couple of bingos I was really pleased to spot. Always glad to spot a 9-letter play. And Poulan as well as a 5-vowel 8 was a source of satisfaction when I spotted it. But I completely blotted my copybook, or whatever the phrase is, at the end with that appalling miss of Ciliates. Absolutely no excuse at all, just pure stupidity on a plate. Anyway, many thanks to my opponent for a good battle. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.